Hi, everybody. We're back with our literature section. We're still working on the story of Momo by Michael Ende, and we've learned a lot so far. We've got this mysterious little girl. We don't really know her age. We don't know a whole lot about her. We don't know a specific city she lives in. It's all this kind of fuzzy mystery that Michael Ende seems to create, where you have this mysterious world with this mysterious main character who's got this mysterious kind of bad thing she has to fight against. And now she's gone into another most mysterious place where she's going to try to figure out how to solve the problem of what's going on with the deterioration of her neighborhood and the people around her and her community.
Absolutely. The men in gray are the mysterious new visitors. They've caused mysterious changes in the community. There are many mysteries that Momo needs to solve, but fear not, she's also found a mysterious turtle named Cassiopeia, and this mysterious turtle is helping Momo. So hopefully, with the turtle's help, and hopefully that's not a race against the clock, because if time is a problem here, the turtle can't rush anywhere. But still, I have great confidence that Momo will solve many of these mysteries, and the only way to do that is to get into the article. So let's read part 2 of the timeless wisdom of Michael Ende's Momo, and by that time the turtle will have caught up with everyone. Upon arriving in the Nowhere House, Momo meets Master Hora, the guardian of time. He exposes the men in gray's dark scheme of stealing time from humans to render their lives barren and meaningless. Importantly, he reveals the true essence of time to Momo by showing her hour lilies. Momo witnesses the beauty of time blossoming and learns that time is life itself. Awed by their beauty, she is keen to return to her community to share these insights with her beloved companions. When Momo returns home, she is shocked to find that although merely a day has gone by for her, a whole year has passed while she was gone. The once lively community has dimmed to a shadow of its former self. Adults, now obsessed with efficiency, hurry through their days. Children are placed in so-called child depots, where strict timetables have replaced playtime to teach kids time management. Momo revisits the Nowhere House. There, Master Hora explains how the men in gray convert stolen time into cigars, believing this will grant them eternal life. Master Hora stops time and gives Momo a 1-hour lily. If Momo can locate the time-saving bank and free the accumulated time within the hour, the men in gray will vanish. With courage and wisdom, Momo finds the time-saving bank and closes the vault that stored millions of hour lilies. Without their cigar supply and unable to steal from Pa's time, the men in gray are defeated. Momo then unlocks the bank and releases the hour lilies. The lost time returns to enrich people's lives with joy and significance. All right, so we are right back in the thick of it, right back in the action. Remember where we left off? Momo and Cassiopeia, her turtle sidekick, had arrived at the Nowhere House. And let's see what happens. It says, upon arriving at the Nowhere House, or once they get there, Momo meets Master Hora, another mysterious character, the Guardian of Time, another mysterious title. So Master Hora is a powerful person because they guard time. They're the protector of time. A guardian is kind of like a guard, a protector, someone who takes care of other things or other people or something like that. A celebrity might have a bodyguard, and that could be a guardian. You could also have people who are guardians of other things. You know, you could think of your accountant as the guardian of your wealth or something like that. And parents, of course, are charged with being the guardians of their children. Or if you're a pet owner, you're the guardian of your animal friend. You take care of it, you protect it, you make sure nothing bad happens to it, like a guard does. But people don't generally guard time, although this is kind of a fantasy novel, so I guess it makes sense. In this world, what does Master Hora, the Guardian of Time, do exactly? I've never met someone like this, so I don't know what their business card would say.
Well, it looks like he exposes the men in gray's dark scheme of stealing time from humans to render their lives barren and meaningless.
Sounds like a good guy.
He's a helper, right? He's the man of information, Master Hora. And the hora sounds like time, right? It's something to do with horological things, which would be related to
That's
time.
Spanish for time?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He exposes. So he lays out bare. He tells everybody what's going on. So he's telling Cassiopeia, he's telling Momo, hey guys, this is what's going on. These guys have got a bad plan, a dark scheme, and they're going to steal time from humans. And by doing that, when they steal this time, they're going to make their lives barren and meaningless. For me, render is a bit of a weird word. I might ask your help here, Mike, but when I think of render, I often think of there's something about rendering fat from animals, which is a process of like taking fat away from meat or something like that. Here in my mind, to render a life barren and meaningless would mean to turn it, to make it. But there's probably a better comparison here with render. You can render somebody ineffective, right, by turning them into somebody who doesn't have a lot of use. Can you think of a good one with render?
Well, you could say something like the rains rendered the roads undrivable or something.
Good.
You know, if the rain's too much and the roads are too slippery and wet. So it's kind of turning or changing a situation to have some other kind of result or some kind of effect. We can use render in lots of different ways. You can also talk about this artist is really good at rendering landscapes, right? To depict or something, to represent something artistically. It's a bit of an interesting word, but yeah, you're also right. When you boil things down, you're rendering fat.
Right,
Or,
it's a gross thing to think about, but it is
kind of.
But it is another usage of this word render. Here they're rendering, turning their lives barren and meaningless. So with people needing to only focus on saving time, their lives have no other things to focus on. So it's like a barren desert, like nothing else is out there, just efficiency. Importantly, he reveals the true essence of time to Momo by showing her hour lilies. So his job is to really give her this guidance here. So his whole point and purpose in this story is to show her about time and what it is. And that's the true essence, the real basic essential part of time. The true essence of beauty, a lot of people might say, would be grace or poise in a woman. The true essence of a strong individual would be somebody who believes in honor, who believes in respect, who follows rules and knows how to do things successfully. So the true essence here is just talking about the basic essential thing. And so he's telling her the basic essential thing of time are these hour lilies.
Momo witnesses the beauty of time blossoming and learns that time is life itself. So she's kind of being shown that time it's not just seconds and minutes and hours on a clock. It's not just days and weeks and months of the year. It's something much more precious and much more valuable than that. And she sees time blossoming as if time is some kind of beautiful natural flower. And time is life itself. Well, yeah, in some ways that's true, right? We only have life during the time that we are alive. So it's something that we should value and take advantage of as much as possible. Awed by their beauty, the beauty of the hour lilies awes Momo. She is keen to return to her community to share these insights with her beloved companions. So it sounds like meeting Master Hora has really shaken up Momo and given her new determination to bring time and the wonderful things that it provides us back to her community. She's been awed by the beauty of the hour lilies. If you're awed by something, you're just deeply, deeply impressed by something. It makes you it takes your breath away. It takes words out of your mouth. It makes you your brain kind of go, OMG, or something like that. So, we can all think about something big and impressive, like the Grand Canyon, or, standing at the bottom of Taipei 101. But when you're actually there and you see how deep and wide and huge the Grand Canyon is, I know every time I go up to Taipei 101, you see it from far away. You've seen pictures of it if you've never actually been there. But to stand right at the bottom of the building and kind of bend your neck back so you can't bend it any further, and have this building that just seems to never end, rising up into the sky. It awes you. It is awesome. Yes, and exactly. When we say something is awesome, we generally shouldn't say it. So, it's really fantastic. What an awesome hamburger. No, it's just a really good hamburger. If it fills you with incredible, like you're in the presence of God or something like that, that's the kind of feeling of being awed, being deeply, deeply emotionally impressed and changed and affected in some kind of way. So this really changes her, and she's keen. She has new enthusiasm. She really wants to return to her community to share these insights with her beloved companions. Companions, friends, people who do things with you, who spend time with you, who are there at your side. It could be your family, your friends, your life partner, your lover, whoever it is, or it could just be someone you're with, right? You can meet someone as you're traveling, and that is your travel companion. But it's not just a stranger who you pass on the street. It is someone who goes with you on a journey or is with you through some kind of experience.
And when Momo returns home, she is shocked to find that although merely a day has gone by for her, a whole year has passed while she was gone.
Whoa.
So she goes home and she is stunned. She's shocked to see that she thought one day had gone by. She thought merely, just one day, merely pretty much is replaceable with just, but it's a much prettier word. I am merely a poor boy. I am just a poor boy from a poor family. Merely can be just the things you need in a day. I merely need a little bit of food for my meals and I'll be a happy person. But here merely, again, just a day has gone by for her. A whole year has passed while she's gone. This whole focus on time and everything, little side note, makes me think of two things. One, it makes me think of a movie called In Time, with Justin Timberlake that was out in the last 20, 30 years, where people had time on their arms and they had to buy tickets onto the bus or food using their life. That was their life on their arms with the time written on their arms, and they had to sell minutes of their life to buy a cup of coffee and stuff like that. It also makes me think of Orson Scott Card, the guy who did Ender's Game, if you've ever seen that movie or read that book. He has a book called A Planet Called Treason, and in this book, they have some of the people who are time shifters, and they just move in slow motion, which is the reverse of this situation where we have the people being very efficient with their time, saving their time, and a whole year has gone by. The once lively community has dimmed to a shadow of its former self. So by giving up all this time that they were dedicating to fun pursuits, they're no longer really alive. They have no energy and power. They're only focused on what, they can do to get through and conserve their time. So the community has dimmed. It has gotten darker and less interesting, and it's a shadow of what it once was. If you're a shadow of your former self, it just means you're no longer vibrant and alive. You look like you're sick and weak and just a shadow of who you were before. So not your full, vibrant self. You're quiet gray shadow.
Yeah, you're kind of a lesser version of yourself. So let's look at some specific groups here in her community. Adults, now obsessed with efficiency, hurry through their days. They're all go, 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 rush, 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 but they're not stopping to smell the flowers, not stopping to enjoy life. It's all life on the clock, life by the schedule, and that's all they're interested in. They're obsessed with efficiency. Efficiency is getting the most work done in the least amount of time possible. So if you have someone at your office who comes in and tells you, oh, you can save time by doing both of these steps at the same time instead of doing them separately or something like that, that is efficiency. Many of us have designed our morning routines with efficiency, right? You don't want to wake up 2 hours before work and spend a lot of time making your own bread for breakfast or milking your own cow to get coffee. To get milk for your coffee. You get up, you brush your teeth as you're looking at your phone, you put on your socks as you're combing your hair, you're feeding your children as you're feeding yourself, and you can get the whole family out of the house in 22 and a half minutes.
That's efficiency.
That's efficiency. That's getting the most work done in the least amount of time possible, but you always feel hurried, you always feel stressed, you always feel rushed, you never have time to stop and just, smell the flowers, enjoy life. Look out the window while you drink that cup of coffee slowly and just watch the birds play in the trees, things like that. Children are placed in so-called child depots, where strict timetables have replaced playtime to teach kids time management. So the most boring, dull, dreadful schools you can imagine. They're not even schools, they're child depots. A depot is kind of like where buses might stop and park for the night, or where the trains all end up at the end of the line, where you drop things off or leave things just to kind of sit there and not be used until you come back to use them.
Deposit.
Basically parking lots for children, that kind of, you're depositing something. You can see the root of that word there. And they have strict timetables. So again, it's all about efficiency. A timetable is like a schedule. It's a list of activities and the times they should start at, the times they should finish at, and it organizes your time. So if you're in school or, when you're traveling, you need a timetable. But if you're organizing your life so carefully on a Sunday when you can kind of do anything, it does feel a little too organized, a little too regimented, a little dull, and it doesn't leave extra time just to, have fun and enjoy yourself once in a while. So these strict timetables, kids will be, doing things in a very organized, kind of boring way. And that's replaced playtime. They're trying to teach kids time management. There's time to learn time management in, later in school or when you first go to work, but kids should be allowed to play and do what they want to do when they want to do it and not sort of be organized little robots.
Aw, let's take a moment and listen to our Chinese teacher now.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们昨天带大家看某某的故事。默默这个小女生，她住在一个不知名的城市里面，然后呢，因为她有一个天赋，就是她能够倾听别人，然后在这个社区里面大家都很开心。可是有一天呢，就来了灰衣人，希望大家把不必要的这些什么社交时间休闲活动，全部时间都省起来，存在他们的时间银行里面，还会给利息哦。所以整个社区就突然改变了。那么默默呢，希望能够改变这样子的一个情况，然后经过了一个很特别的一个这个遇见，这个巧遇了一只乌龟叫做 Cassiopeia。那他带着 Momo 呢，到了 The Nowhere House 主宰时间的领域的这个地方。那在这个地方发生了什么事呢？我们要赶快进入到今天的故事。默默抵达了这个 Nowhere House 的时候，他就遇见了时间的守护者哦，中文翻叫做赫勒大师。他在第一段第一句的地方 Master Hora。 可是这个第一句我们还不能放过，因为它是一个句型哦。 Upon 第一个字 Upon 呢，注意它的发音啊， Upon 就是 on 的意思，它是介系词哦，所以后面就会加名词或动词 ing。那它的文意是什么呢？就是我们背过那个 as soon as， 有没有？就是一怎么的时候。所以这整句话是一到达 the nowhere house 的时候， upon arriving in the nowhere house， Momo 就遇见了 Master Hora。 那 Master Hora 就告诉 Momo 其实灰衣人是要偷人类的时间然后让人类的生活变得很乏味无趣 barren， 而且毫无意义 meaningless。更重要的是，他还透过展示给 Momo 看的时间之花，让 Momo 知道时间真正的本质是什么。所以其实这个第一段很重要，因为在第三句的地方，我们看到了这个 true essence of time。essence 就是本质 nature 的意思，所以这个小说读完应该可以知道时间本质是什么。可是我们在透过这个 fantasy 奇幻文学当中，当然这里面会有一些描写的手法，因为时间我们真的也看不到，那就没有一个具象化的东西嘛。可是在这里第一段第三句，我们看到这个时间之花 our lilies 是一个百合花的样子。那 Momo 呢，就当时就见证了时间之花绽放的这种美丽，他当时就了解到其实时间就是生命的本身。所以 Momo 对于那种美丽的景象就觉得很敬畏，然后很迫切的赶快希望能够回去跟他的 companions 跟他的伙伴分享这些洞见。我们在第一段最后一句第五句的地方有几个关键。第一个呢，它也是一个分词构句的句型， old 就是被动式的，被吓到就是感到敬畏的意思。谁被吓到？逗点之后的 she 指的就是 Momo。哇，被这个时间之花这整个景象给吓到了，好想要赶快回去哦。Be keen to do something， 好想赶快回到社区，然后能够把这些对时间真正的了解，后面这个 insight 中文常常会翻成一种领悟啦，或者是洞见。所以时间到底是什么？不知道好像就是流逝的，我们也感觉不到也看不到的东西。 但是时间本身就是生命，这就是一种 insight， 一种洞见，有没有？那某某他的朋友也有同年龄的，然后也有社区的，所以他的伙伴、同伴一起居住的人就叫做 companion。 那到了第二段咯，可是当某某回到家的时候，他很惊讶的发现他只去了 The Nowhere House 1天，可是回去之后居然已经过了1年。哇，原来啊，到了不同的空间里面，整个时间的流逝速度都是不一样的耶。那现在到底是如何呢？原来是这个社区很活力，充满活力啊，很快乐和平的社区，现在整个暗淡如光，大不如前。到底是什么情况呢？第二段的第3句，成年人就是很沉迷于效率，每天都要做越来越多的事，每天都过得很匆忙，什么事情都要很赶啊，赶快做完，做好多的任务。那小孩子呢？小孩子被送到孩童之家，然后呢就有很严格的时间表，也不能玩游戏，这样子呢，小孩子才可以学会时间管理啊，听起来好像是我们现在的生活，对不对？好，第二段我们来看一下第3句这个地方。第3句因为它有一个关系子句的简化，所以我们特别抓出来。第3句的 adults 成年人，逗点之后我们先添加2个字 who are be 动词，那后面 are 呢是连接着沉迷于什么什么的片语 be obsessed with something。 好，那我们说过打逗点就是呼吸，就是休息嘛，所以它是补充说明，所以这句话变成成年人逗点他们现在呀就是沉迷于效率，逗点之后的 hurry 圈起来，在这里才是 adults 真正的动词。因为逗点这个插入的，其实你可以把它盖掉遮掉，有没有？只是补充说明一下，成年人 hurry through their days 每一天都过得匆匆忙忙的。那么第4句呢，小孩被送到孩童之家，可是你有没有发现这边英文我们看到的 depot 这个双引号的 child depot 这个字啊，通常是用来讲仓库啦，或者是像公车总站，有没有？公车总站不是停很多车吗？那个车库的概念。所以在这个用这个字的 depot 的话，真的感觉真的蛮没有人性的。总而言之，这个孩童之家大家要学什么呢？在第2段最后面的 time management 就很重要，就是要学时间管理。
All right, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. All right, so we continue on. It sounds like the community really is a shadow of itself. And Momo was concerned about this, so she revisits the Nowhere House. She goes back and visits again. And there she talks to Master Hora, who explains how the men in gray convert or change stolen time into cigars. This is when we get into something that's very fantastical all of a sudden, and you know it's definitely a kid's story. Stolen time into cigars. How very random. Cigars being the tobacco-filled, tobacco leaf wrapped things that you smoke. You normally cut off.
It's a big, fat, expensive cigarette.
Yeah, and if they're really good, then they're even more expensive, right? Yeah. And so your time is in a cigar, and I guess these guys, the gray guys, are going to smoke these cigars to get, a longer life, kind of like the whole witch stealing the beauty, the energy from kids to stay young and beautiful forever. Here it's smoking a cigar to, grant yourself eternal life. I don't know how one cigar keeps you alive forever. That is when you have eternal life. It means you live forever. And I don't know who would necessarily want to live forever. Maybe they have to keep smoking cigars. We'd have to read the book to find out.
It didn't work for Winston Churchill.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
No, it didn't work at all.
That's all I'm saying.
Master Hora stops time and gives Momo a 1-hour lily. So he stops time everywhere, and she has 1 hour to figure out the universe. If Momo can locate the time-saving bank and free the accumulated time within the hour, the men in gray will vanish. So if she can find the bank and release to free all that like saved up, accumulated, saved up time, well, then she can get rid of the men in gray. They're just going to disappear. I don't know how or why, but it'll happen.
We don't know, but Momo has an opportunity to save the day. So what does she do? She takes a nap. No. With courage and wisdom, Momo finds the time-saving bank
Dun, dun, dun.
and closes the vault that stored millions of hour lilies. Yay. So there you go. So using courage, using great bravery and wisdom, intelligence, even though she's a young kid, she is hardly a novice at this. She is a very talented solver of problems and heroine here. So she finds the bank. She closes the vault. A vault is like a giant safe, like you would have in a bank, right? So you might have a safe in your home or in a hotel room, a small lock box that you can put valuable things in. A vault is that really big room-sized version of it. In movies, you always see the bad guys, the bank robbers, trying to break into the vault. And inside the vault, there'll be piles of money or gold bars or boxes filled with jewels and jewelry and things like that. So she breaks into this tightly secured room inside the time-saving bank. The vault is that room. And that's where they store the hour lilies, all the time that people have given up. But she locks the vault and locks the cigars away. Without their cigar supply and unable to steal from Pa's time.
That's a new bit of information. They can't steal from time when it's paused. That's something new.
They can make up rules. That's fine. So yes, of course, this is a little strange, but sure, hey, makes sense. Why not? So without these cigars, with their cigar supply cut off or locked away in the vault, and unable to steal from Pa's time since they can't take action when time is paused, like when you pause a movie, right? The actors on the screen aren't moving. They can't do anything. The movie's paused. So the men in gray lose. They are beaten. They are defeated. When you defeat someone, you beat someone. You are the winner. They are the loser. You have won and they have lost. They have been defeated.
And they're defeated because the time is paused because Momo has that 1 hour lily that she got from Master Aura that stops time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she gets rid of them. They're defeated.
Mm-hmm.
But why did she shut the bank? Well, she shut the bank to protect the cigars and keep them away from the men in gray. So now she unlocks the bank and releases the hour lilies. So all this time goes back out there, all this free time, all this lost time returns to enrich people's life with joy and significance. If you enrich people's lives, you give them things that are colorful, happy, warm. You give them academic improvements in their life. You give them job promotions, things like this. These are things that can enrich your life, things that make life better and more rich, not necessarily money-wise, but more rich in terms of having more things, more knowledge, more better positions, things like that. And here their lives are filled with joy and significance. Let's listen to our Chinese teacher one more time.
那接着呢，我们就来看到最后一段咯，因为最后两段这边第3段的 Momo 后来又回到了 The Nowhere House， 因为他发现他整个住的 community 怪怪的耶，那他就求助于赫勒大师啊，那赫勒大师就在无处之家这个地方跟他解释说，灰衣人啊其实是把人类时间偷过来变成雪茄然后抽这个雪茄呢就会让灰衣人啊得到永生。那接下来到底该怎么办呢？总要有个办法嘛。看到第3句，这时候呢赫勒大师呢就把时间暂停，然后给了 Momo 一朵百合花，这一朵百合花呢只有1个小时的时间暂停 1 hour lily， 而且如果 Momo 在这个小时之内可以找到时间储蓄银行，然后整个释放累积大家所谓的省的时间，灰衣人就会消失嘞，就可以解救大家。所以有没有完成这个任务呢？有完成这个任务。最后一段我们看到，凭借的勇气跟智慧， Momo 就找到时间储蓄银行，完成了这个任务。当然大家呢就因为又恢复了原来的生活，这些失去的时间重新回归，那大家的生活就又有了欢乐跟意义。所以这是一个 happy ending 的故事。当然我们明天会再针对这个故事做更多的赏析，别忘了收听哦。我是安娜，我们明天见。
Well, I tell you what, this story about Momo has been absolutely fascinating. And I'm really kind of curious to talk a little bit more about Michael Ende and hear what else he has in store for us.
Yes, and we're going to learn more about Michael Ende, a very interesting man with an interesting life and the writer of some really very popular stories. So it's going to be very cool to find out about a writer that many of us may not know too much about, but certainly has a lot of good work that is definitely worth exploring. So come back and join us for that tomorrow.
For English Digest, I'm Leah.
And I'm Mike.
Bye.